tried to touch my vagina.
Nobody tried to touch
and you
your
did
vagina,
not get elbowed. You lying now.
Sorry, I'm trying to call someone to make sure that I'm safe.
Step out of the vehicle.
I don't feel safe. I do not feel safe.
Don't trap my
Feel safe.
Don't trap my arm. Lower your window with your other arm.
Ma'am,
lower your window with your other arm.
Welcome back to Cop's Dream. Today, we're diving into yet another episode featuring those notorious Karen criminals. We'll take you through 5 shocking incidents where these so-called Karens believed they could challenge the law, only to learn the hard way that confronting the police is never a good idea. Our first case is about Jenny Rose Saunders, who on April 26, 2022, was caught driving with a suspended registration. Instead of cooperating, she decided to give them a night they wouldn't forget. Stay tuned as we explore these wild encounters and see how justice is served.
How are you, man? Officer Balzer, Scott's Place, please. Your license, registration, insurance.
Hi, Art. Not a problem. Thank you.
I need your license. If you don't comply, I will break the window and you will be placed under arrest.
The officer politely requested her license, registration, and insurance, but she responded dismissively. The officer repeated his request and warned her that if she didn't comply, he would be forced to break the window and place her under arrest. True to typical Karen behavior, she made the situation more difficult by refusing to cooperate or communicate with the police. What started as a routine interaction quickly escalated into an extremely dangerous and shocking incident.
Ma'am, step out of the vehicle.
Sorry, I'm trying to call someone to make sure that I'm safe.
Step out of the vehicle.
I don't feel safe. I do not feel safe.
Don't trap my
Feel safe.
Don't trap my arm. Lower your window with your other arm.
Ma'am,
lower your window with your other arm.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Hey, ma'am, lower the window. You're going to hurt this officer.
Lower your window.
Ma'am.
The officer instructed the woman to step out of the vehicle, but she hesitated, claiming she needed to call someone to ensure her safety. Despite the officer's reassurances that she was safe, she continued to refuse, expressing that she didn't feel safe. As the situation escalated, the officer asked her to lower the window, but she resisted, leading to a tense and potentially dangerous interaction.
Ma'am,
you are now under
window.
arrest.
Ma'am, lower the window.
You are now under... Stop!
Ma'am, lower the window. Ma'am, lower the window. Ma'am, lower the window. Send an additional unit. Get out of the car.
Why?
You're arrested now.
Why? What did I do? Can you tell me what I did, you
You're arrested
guys?
for aggravated assault against a police officer.
Can you tell me what I did?
Turn around. Hands behind your back.
Under arrest for what? Can you
Aggravated assault.
Do you have a mother? Do you have a sister?
We're past that already. You're under arrest for aggravated assault. He told you multiple times for aggravated assault, and plus...
You are accusing me of something I did not do.
You're not. You're under arrest.
The officer found himself trapped and unable to move, but the woman appeared unconcerned. Rather than lowering the window and following the officer's orders, she chose to escalate the situation even further. Karens like this always seem to have a major case of selective hearing, only choosing to listen to things that benefit them. What started as a simple traffic stop, which could have been a misunderstanding or a false alarm, escalated due to her violent and ignorant behavior. As a result, she ended up with an assault charge in the bill for a broken window.
Why? You're not going to tell me why I was pulled over to begin with?
Ma'am, watch your foot. Watch your foot. You explain everything. Just watch your foot.
No, you're not explaining. So you're not giving me any chance to retrieve my stuff or make sure my things are okay?
Stay there.
The most astonishing aspect of this case is that the woman wasn't under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Instead, she was intoxicated by a sense of entitlement, which led her to behave in the most extreme and irrational ways. Her actions were driven purely by an inflated sense of self-importance, showcasing the worst traits of this attitude.
You're gonna get the wall. You guys plan to put your hands against the wall. On the wall. On them.
I really do not.
Alright, do you want to get obstruction too? Put
Are you going to clean them?
Put them on the wall,
Are
and
you
I'm
gonna
not going
clean
to tell
them?
you again.
So could you clean it for me, please?
Do you? No.
I need
I'm
to
not
pee.
asking you a question.
Can I pee?
Place your arms on the wall. If I have to hold them, I will
Can
hold
I
them.
pee,
when I'm
please?
done.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. If somebody could just, listen, it would be so hard, right? It would be done already.
I'm so sorry that you have such a
The officers repeatedly instructed a woman to place her hands on the wall, but she was non-compliant and resisted their commands. Despite being given multiple chances to follow instructions, she continued to argue and defy the officers. The officers warned her that failure to comply could result in additional charges, such as obstruction. The situation grew increasingly tense as the officers expressed frustration over her refusal to cooperate, emphasizing that the process would have been much quicker and smoother if she had simply followed their instructions from the beginning. In the end, Jenny Rose finally faced the consequences of her actions when she was charged with aggravated assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, and obstruction of justice. In most states, aggravated assault on a police officer is classified as a felony, often a second-degree felony. This charge typically involves an assault with a weapon or an assault that causes serious injury to the officer. The penalties for this offense can vary by state, but generally include a prison sentence ranging from 5 to 15 years, hefty fines, and a permanent criminal record. For example, in states like New Jersey, the penalty can be as severe as 10 years in prison, with mandatory minimums that limit parole opportunities. Under various state laws, resisting arrest is typically classified as a misdemeanor, but it can be elevated to a felony if the resistance involves violence or a deadly weapon. For instance, in states like California, resisting arrest as a misdemeanor can lead to a penalty of up to 1 year in county jail and fines up to $1,000. However, if the resistance involves the use of force or threats, the charge can escalate to a felony, carrying a prison sentence of 16 months to 3 years, along with additional fine. Obstruction of justice involves interfering with the legal process, such as by lying to law enforcement, destroying evidence, or hindering an investigation. Under federal law, and in many states, obstruction of justice can be classified as either a misdemeanor or a felony. For instance, under federal law, obstruction of justice can lead to a prison sentence of up to 5 years. State laws, such as in New York, may impose similar penalties, with fines reaching up to $25,000. The severity of the punishment depends on the nature of the obstruction and the impact it has on the legal process. The situation became even more complicated when it was discovered that Jenny Rose had an active warrant for her arrest in New Jersey, along with a fugitive warrant in Pennsylvania. This revelation highlighted a pattern of criminal behavior, indicating that this was far from her first encounter with the law. The presence of these warrants added weight to the charges against her and likely influenced the severity of her sentencing. While Jenny Rose's actions were egregious, at least, she didn't escalate the situation to the level of physical violence against the officers, as some others have done. Her case serves as a stark reminder of the serious consequences that can follow when someone chooses to defy the law and ignore the authority of law enforcement. The legal system in the United States takes these offenses seriously, and the penalties reflect the importance of maintaining respect for the law. On the morning of May 26, 2023, a janitor politely asked a woman to leave the bathroom so he could clean it. Instead of complying, the woman reacted with extreme aggression, arguing and hurling profanities at him. The situation escalated quickly, prompting the police to be called. What ensued was a bizarre and violent confrontation that no one could have anticipated.
Why do I need to give you my ID?
Because I'm conducting an investigation.
I'm going to report you when I get done. Give you the information that I need, and I'm putting this. I'm telling
What's
you
your
on
name?
feminine.
All right, ma'am. You can lose the attitude or just put you in handcuffs.
The officer requested her ID as part of the investigation. Although she was initially reluctant to cooperate, the police soon discovered that her name was Maya. Clearly displeased with how the situation was unfolding, she quickly threatened to report the officer, even though the interaction had only just begun. Her hostile attitude continued throughout the entire encounter.
So, I'm going to tell you right now, you can lower your voice. I'm going to put you in handcuffs and take you to jail for disorderly conduct. I'm going to inform you of some city ordinances, such as we have a no camping in the city of Key West. If you're caught camping, from this point forward, you can and will be arrested.
The officer warned the woman to drop her attitude, reminding her that she was not in control and could be taken to jail for disorderly conduct. He then informed her of the city ordinances in Key West, specifically the prohibition against camping in public parks within the city of Key West. The officer made it clear that if she was caught violating this ordinance again, she would be arrested.
So if you turn around and film this,
I did. I gave that to my lawyer yesterday.
Stop. Ma'am, I'm only going to tell you one more time not to raise your voice to me.
I'm not yelling. This is how
I have not yelled at you.
So don't ask me any questions, because this is how I talk.
Ma'am?
Despite the officer's calm explanation, Maya predictably took offense, and in an attempt to challenge the situation, threatened to send the video of the interaction to her lawyer. This reaction only highlighted her unwillingness to accept the legal realities of her actions.
Last warning, I'm just going to put you in handcuffs. You're not going to yell at me. You're not going to scream at me. You need to turn around and film the rules and regulations of all the parks and city beaches, because if you break any of those city ordinances, you can and will be arrested. Here's your identification. All these warnings will be annotated.
Maya, far from seeing the humor in the situation, was so offended that she went as far as calling 911.
Put your phone down, put your bag down.
They're arresting me now.
Turn around, face the wall, put your hands behind your back.
Despite the officer's leniency in letting her go, this rash decision led them to swiftly track her down just minutes later for a far more serious confrontation.
I'm arresting you for misuse of 911. You do not have a legitimate emergency, and you have 2 police officers standing in front of you.
Let's go, so I can report you.
Stop. Face the wall.
Do not touch me.
Ma'am, stop. You're not getting in my vehicle unless I search you.
So you need to call a female. Do not touch me.
That is not how
If you touch me, I swear to God, I'm going to kick. I'm going to fight. You not touching my touch me. I got a dress on.
You need to stop.
The police arrested the woman. The officers instructed her to put her hands behind her back and prepare for a search before being placed in the vehicle. She resisted, repeatedly refusing to be touched or searched, and even threatened to fight if the officers proceeded. Ultimately, the situation escalated into a physical altercation between her and the police.
No, I did not bite you. I did not bite you.
Did I bite
What is that?
I did not do that.
All over.
You lying.
Right there.
You squirt me, and I do have injuries. You see that shit?
Stop.
Get the from over me like
Do
that.
not.
Get off of me.
Stop.
If you swipe me up, that's more.
Well, you've already elbowed me, bit him.
Because you...
During the takedown, Maya bit, kicked, slapped, and elbowed the police officers, all while attempting to claim that they were being abusive toward her. When a second set of officers arrived to assess the situation, Maya continued to act violently and disorderly, escalating the situation further. She was eventually taken into custody on 2 counts of battery against a law enforcement officer, 1 count of resisting arrest, and another count of misusing 911. It's clear that Maya was old enough to understand the gravity of her actions, but it's particularly disappointing to see an 18-year-old behave in such a reckless manner. In Key West, battery against a law enforcement officer is a serious offense under Florida Statute 784.7. This crime is classified as a third-degree felony and can result in up to 5 years in prison, 5 years of probation, and a $5,000 fine. The severity of the penalty reflects the importance of protecting those who serve in law enforcement. Resisting arrest, as defined under Florida Statute 843.2, is also a significant charge. If done without violence, it is considered a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail, 1 year of probation, and a $1,000 fine. However, if violence is involved, it escalates to a third-degree felony, which carries much harsher penalties, similar to those for battery on a law enforcement officer. In addition to the charges of battery against a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest, Maya was also charged with misusing 911. Under Florida Statute 365.172 porn, the misuse of 911 is treated as a serious offense. This statute makes it illegal to use the emergency response system for any purpose other than to report an actual emergency. Misusing 911 is considered a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail, 1 year of probation, and a $1,000 fine. This law aims to prevent the unnecessary diversion of emergency resources, which could otherwise be used to save lives in true emergencies. Next, in this case, this girl was pulled over after police received several urgent calls reporting a driver who seemed severely impaired. Witnesses observed her swerving erratically across the road, veering into oncoming traffic, and even colliding with various objects. Such reckless behavior not only put her own life in danger, but also posed a serious threat to everyone around her. It's alarming that someone would display such a blatant disregard for public safety, highlighting the critical importance of law enforcement intervention in situations like these.
Yeah? What kind of errands you running?
You know, grocery shopping, filling bills, just adult things.
So where were you coming from?
On the way to pick up on my friend, and I don't like doing things by myself because I have anxiety, so I like people coming on rides with me. So I was gonna go pick her up so I can...
According to the girl, she was on her way to pick up her friend. However, it seemed that a friend wasn't the only thing she needed to ease her anxiety on this trip to complete her adult tasks. as the cops immediately spotted several suspiciously rectangular pills on the front seat.
For me, it pretty much stays simple.
Ma'am, is your ID in your purse? All right, I'll get it. I'll get it. Hey, I said I'll get it. Stand over there at the end of your car. All right, ma'am.
If we're all humans here, if you were more respectful about it, I would just say.
Where's your ID at?
The situation intensifies when the officer asks the woman for her ID, and she insists on getting it herself, but the officer directs her to step away from her car. She protests, asking for more respect, and asserts that the contents of her purse are her property. The officer explains that the search is justified because Xanax bars were found in plain view on her driver's seat.
Is it in here?
Can I look for my wallet? Well, like, why are you looking for my wallet? The thing is, that's my property. You have no choice.
Actually, I do, because I found friggin' Xanax bars on your driver's seat. If you want to explain something, explain those.
Girl, the fact that you're just looking through my stuff.
They were in plain view.
Yep.
As the interaction progresses, the girl appears to grow increasingly incoherent and confused. It's as if she begins to recognize the gravity of the situation, leading her to become more confrontational.
Sit down in my car?
No, you cannot.
What if I just have to, like, hand up everything?
No, you're not getting back in your car.
I'm gonna get my phone.
No, you're not. You're staying right here.
Okay, but why can't I get my phone to, like, at least have
You're not getting back in that car until they're done. You're not going back in that car.
But why can't I?
You can request this recording.
You can come with me to my car. My phone is right on that seat. One of y'all can come to me to that seat to get my.
Unfortunately for her, the cops have grown tired of her rambling and decide to take action. We then get to watch as she struggles to explain everything away.
Yeah, honestly, what happened first? Okay, see this part of my car?
I do.
One day, no pillow has been missing. It was missing.
I'm looking at your eyes, and I think that you might be under the influence of some type of narcotic. Not alcohol, but I believe in narcotic.
It's never a good idea to refuse these tests, but given how poorly the girl performed, she might have had a better chance by taking her chances in court.
I work with harassment. Ooh, damn, girl. Touching me up.
You got her?
Yeah. Come on.
You want to try that?
Oh, you want to choke? Damn, girl. Ow, oh. Oh, you want to choke me out, girl? You want to choke me out, girl? Holy.
As expected, she was quickly handcuffed, and that's when her behavior shifted from dazed to dangerous.
Last time one of you guys took me to the mental hospital, my grandparents could not find me for weeks!
That's gonna be a fun ride out there.
Yeah. Man, I can still hear her screaming. I can still hear her.
Season with the delirious girl finally secured in the back seat. The only remaining threat is to the sanity of the officer, who has to drive her back to the station because she kept screaming in the car. Unfortunately, the exact charges she faced remain unclear, but it's highly likely they included a Dewey and resisting arrest. Given the severity of her behavior, these charges wouldn't come as a surprise. Finally, if there's one place where you're almost guaranteed to witness a Karen in action, it's at an airport, at Salt Lake City International Airport. This woman was informed that she would have to give up her aisle seat and move to a middle seat, a reasonable request that could have been for any number of reasons. However, instead of handling it calmly, she completely lost her composure, resulting in one of the most outrageous and entertaining Karen meltdowns ever seen.
I told them, then the girls let me say what I wanted to say, and then they took me off the plane.
So nobody...
They need to let me, either they need to buy me a hotel ticket and get me back to New York, or they need to let me aboard the plane.
If she wants to get back on the plane, she'll need to calm down first. Airlines prioritize customer comfort above all else and have every right to refuse boarding to disruptive passengers. There's a possible scenario where this woman could have calmed down, apologized, and accepted the middle seat, but that would be too straightforward for someone with a Karen mentality.
Your behavior, okay?
My behavior?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a plane for the aisle seat. They gave me an E, which is a middle seat.
Sit down now.
No, I would like to hear what people are saying.
Just have a seat. You can have a conversation.
I'm allowed to hear what they are
You can right there,
saying.
because I'm going to catch up with you. Okay.
How is that thin ice? What have I done? They have tried to work with me by taking me off the plane. Well, ask them.
That's why Officer Cross, listen to me. He's going to go.
What have I done on the plane?
Her behavior is gradually becoming more combative, shifting from annoyance to outright anger. This escalation forces the cops to step in, assert their authority, and put her back in her place. It's a clear example of how quickly a situation can spiral out of control when emotions aren't kept in check.
I don't live here. I live in New York.
Well, good. Okay. Delta.
Dude, who's paying for my ticket?
You're going to have to, you got refunded. Delta is denying you service, okay? Delta Airlines, a private company, is denying you service.
Why though? Because you guys denied me service. Why? You don't even know why.
Okay,
so
let's
you
walk
better
out.
get me a flight back to New York.
We can work on you.
Where am I gonna go?
I can answer those questions, but we're gonna walk out.
No, I don't want to go anywhere. Where am I gonna go in Utah?
Her frustration is somewhat understandable, given that she's stuck in an unfamiliar state with nowhere to go. However, her behavior is only making the situation worse, and there's really only one way this can end.
Keep doing this yelling, we're gonna look at criminal charges, okay? Disorderly conduct.
Dude, this is on you though. Told me I would get an aisle.
Jacqueline.
All right, dude, give me my.
Come here.
Give me my. I don't do.
Let's go.
Stop!
Your hands behind your back.
Stop! Let me just go home.
Yeah.
Let me just go home.
Put this
Let
hand
me
behind
just
your back.
go home. No.
Jacqueline.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Put your hand behind your back. Stop resisting. Where's your car, Sarge?
Get up.
Right there.
This arrest might actually be a blessing in disguise for the woman. At least now she won't have to stress about finding a place to stay. Her accommodations for the night are already arranged, courtesy of the local jail. It's a rather ironic twist, but sometimes consequences come with unexpected conveniences, as you've seen in these jaw-dropping encounters. Trying to outsmart the law never ends well for these Karens. From reckless driving to outright defiance, these individuals learned the hard way that the law always prevails. Thank you for joining us on this wild ride through some of the most unbelievable Karen encounters with the law. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into the world of outrageous criminal behavior. Until next time, stay safe and stay smart.